Still waiting for Andy. Wow, look at Andy.
Mute, unmute. Yeah.
That lighting.
On time. I got the mic working.
Sounding good.
Uh-huh.
Little prep. That's all it takes, man.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems, so that's what made it work.
Yeah, well, we're 4 seconds in, so
Yeah.
let's wait.
No, you got to jinx it. That's the whole podcast.
Yeah. Nothing could go wrong here. Hey, Brittany Griner's back.
Yeah, now we can all watch the WNBA again.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
thank
almost
God.
time. I think she's almost been in jail. Well, not quite a year. So isn't the Russian WNBA season starting again? She should just play out the season and then come home.
I like that you stated that joke as a question, like any of us would know when the Russian women's basketball league starts.
I just assumed there was a WNBA in Russia. There's not.
It would have seemed like the season would be going on now because she's like 274 days. So if it was a 2-month season, it's probably kickball.
If Russia had a WNBA, wait, what happened?
Wait a minute. What sport has a 2-month-long season?
Well, I'm just saying, even if they just had a 2-month season,
Tiddlywinks,
Russian chick ball,
Russian chick ball.
About 2 months of Russian chick ball is about all anyone can stand.
Yeah, man, they got a lot of problems over there. You think they want to have 4 months of
that's
women's
the diversion?
Yeah, yeah.
We have the women's basketball for 2 months a year. It's all we can handle.
They have
That's
it
it.
on so that dudes will want to fight in Ukraine.
Angers them up.
It's the only channel.
That makes them want to go to war, having to watch WNBA all for 2 whole months.
Yeah, if that's the alternative.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Chaille's
Sign me up.
Chaille's in what WNBA team is out where you're at, Ggreg?
I couldn't tell you one.
Minneapolis Big Girls.
Yeah, I'm in Minneapolis. I'm just west of Minneapolis, about 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. What's trying to think of a town west of Minneapolis? The Menominee Monarchs?
No. There are some weird names up here. Like there's a town that's spelled MB and something else.
Yeah.
I'm
So
like,
they've
there's
already
no-
misspelled it. They're 2
there's
letters
no
in. And
vowel between the M and the B. How do you do it? Mumbi?
they're 2 letters into your town name, and you've already spelled it
We
wrong.
already ruined it.
Yeah. Spell check won't even help you.
I think it's
No.
Mimity or something. Hey, Andy, what's that poster in the background there with
That's nice.
That is from our friend
Squeaky Tiki?
Creepy Tiki sent me that. And
Say the name right.
I-
Creepy Tiki is something totally different.
Creepy Tiki is a website,
Yeah.
Andy.
God damn it.
goes to.
Yeah. So it's from, and then also the sticker, the issues with
Oh
Andy.
yeah, little
font.
an homage to Kiss Army. It looks like.
Right, because we're some rich Jewish men.
Seems pretty
Wear a lot of
satanic to
makeup.
me if you look at it.
I never got into it, even though I got the Kiss double live album because I won it on 10Q on the radio in Los Angeles. I was never really into Kiss.
I was still not far removed from my spinning records backwards to hear Devil Messages days. So when Kiss came around, I was like, oh man, this is bad for people.
I can't wait to spin this one backwards.
Yeah.
Double album. Oh man, we're going all the way to hell
Wait,
tonight,
I need
boys.
another record player. It's a double album. How can I play them backwards unless I have 2 players?
I forget who.
Lord.
Let's see. Queen. Another one bites the dust. Says start to smoke marijuana.
From the Game album in 1982, I believe. I went to that concert.
Did you? I heard that message and I started smoking.
What's the
marijuana.
message?
Start to smoke marijuana.
What?
Another one bites the dust. Start to smoke marijuana. That's when I remember going, oh man.
So that part, the another one bites the dust part
I think so,
backwards.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
start to smoke marijuana.
I've never ever heard that.
You can write down the words "another one bites the dust" and then say it.
Fleetwood Mac was into some real bad shit. And I don't know if it was, you want to hear. I know some of it I heard from that stupid preacher that he would play his, but I got into spinning it a little backwards. I could have gone DJ or I could have gone religious fanatic, and I
Yeah,
went
if you would have just gone, woo, 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 woo,
right.
you would have had a career.
Oh my God. Imagine.
Yeah, that's what rappers are afraid to
Smoke,
hear.
smoke marijuana. You could have been fucking making money, Andy.
I think if Queen had a message, it was start to suck more dick.
Yeah, I never really thought of Queen as a
Yeah.
marijuana group.
Yeah, the Stairway to Heaven was that's the masterpiece of putting messages. In fact,
And if-
Satan himself wrote the song.
Yeah,
If that
definitely.
stuff worked, don't you think they'd still be doing it?
Oh yeah.
And why
Well,
stop?
where they
Well, maybe it does work. Maybe the mistake was made in not understanding that records wouldn't be around long enough
Yeah.
to populate hell.
You couldn't play your
Yeah.
8 tracks backwards just where it went bad.
Yeah, and everyone got CDs, and you're like, well, that's it.
yeah.
Satan,
Oh,
sorry, our
guys.
whole
Uh-huh.
plan is blown.
Oh
They
man,
were
yeah.
Dark
so
Lord.
right on cue with
Yeah.
this backwards masking.
Yeah.
Except now the technology has advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good news,
Satan-
bad news.
Foiled
Satan.
again.
Yeah. The good news is the backwards messages are working like a charm. We're recruiting new soldiers into our army of darkness every day. The bad news is Van Halen's 1984 just got put out on compact disc. And
No one is pressing vinyl.
Yeah, you gotta like, I don't know how you get Satan's message
So-
these days.
So Fleetwood Mac was into some
Yeah,
dark.
there's one I discovered on my own.
Hold on, Andy.
and
I'm very curious as to where you're going with this. But there has been the common knowledge or the common misconception was that what's her name was a white witch.
Oh,
yeah.
Stevie Nicks.
CB Nicks was a white witch.
Uh-huh.
What did you hear, Andy?
If you play the song "The Eyes of the World" backwards, which I think it must have been a B-side of a hit, because it's just a shitty song, forwards or backwards or whatever, but backwards it says a whole bunch about Satan. I forget, but that one, that one literally had me praying down on my knees, going, "Oh shit." How do I get rid of them? My brother John told me
my
that
God.
came in and he told me, because I had all these 45 records and he was
Brother
that's
was fucking with you, dude.
yeah, well, he should. It would have been funny if he was, but he was serious. But he was listening to that guy. That's how I got turned on to the preacher who spun records
Like a
backwards.
televangelist?
Yeah, he's a real douchebag. He's still around, actually.
As opposed to the televangelists who aren't douchebags?
Yeah, I don't even know what this guy's what happened with him, but I know that was his hook at some point. And then my brother John said was fucking 38 Special. It was like a really ugly band, and they were like, he said that you can tell these guys are Satanists. Like, he's real judgmental at the time, but he said 38 Special, you can tell those. And I started spinning a few backwards, and I was a little concerned to hear. I think I weeded Fleetwood Mac out of the collection that day. I don't need that shit.
The rumors are true.
I've already want to serve Satan, and then they you hear it backwards, and like, man, just leave me
Imagine being a parent and being like, oh no, the kid's up there listening to Fleetwood Mac and 38 Special. Oh no.
Satan must serve Satan.
I don't know this song. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, okay? This is
All right.
Eyes of the World.
But think
Yeah.
about Satan, or try not to think about Satan when you hear it.
Okay,
It's
we'll see
impossible.
how it goes.
It's real- Satan.
Children. You heard him say children.
Yeah,
You play it
children are filled with
backwards and
grapes, I think he said.
Yeah, you play it backwards, and it's crystal clear what you need to be doing with your time.
I was gonna say you couldn't understand him forward.
I
Why you played it back?
I guess serving Satan's pretty easy because I would probably, I guess I do, I don't like go out to church or nothing, but if I had somebody to like, hey Satan, I'd wave at him or whatever. I'm not afraid of him.
Well, like a neighbor you don't talk to, but you give him the hey. how's it going?
Yeah. Like now, even better, like a neighbor who doesn't have a flag in his yard. That maybe.
Yeah. Well, say what you want about Satan, but he doesn't want 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So
And he always has
cheaper date.
his lawn is always cut nice.
Yeah. What did Satan ever make out of getting into? What was Satan's take on the music industry? He didn't really get much out of it,
Played a mean fiddle.
Yeah, he played a mean fiddle.
Yeah.
And he taught Kiss into wearing the makeup. But Satan didn't really get his due. Ticketmaster, they figured out a way to use Satan's tactics and to get grease a lot of fucking palms, man. Holy shit. I'm never gonna get to see Taylor Swift live. It's not a recommendation, but in the movie Amsterdam, there's a rewarding Taylor Swift scene. I'll just leave it at that. It's like one of them large ensemble. No, she gets run over.
Well,
okay.
So it's kind of like, whoa, it's like, man, this is gonna suck. Taylor Swift's gonna be in talking in this thing, and then she gets shoved in front of a truck right away. So it's like, fuck yeah.
What's Amsterdam? Is that
It's a kind of a story about before the Nazis came to power, and just kind of a story of three people. Kristen Bale's in it. He's really into it. It's like one of those roles that he's really fucking contorted himself and gotten weird for. It's not a great movie. It's kind of slow, but seeing Taylor Swift get shoved in front of a truck, it's like, yeah. I rewound it a couple times, and I don't even dislike her. It was just like,
I was gonna say, what's wrong with Taylor Swift?
nothing. I don't have a
Margot
problem.
Robbie's in it, Anya Taylor-Joy,
Yeah,
John David Washington, and Rami Malek, who played Freddie Mercury in the movie. Robert De Niro. What do you
De
mean?
Niro.
This movie sucks?
No, I didn't say it sucked. It just wasn't. I mean, I don't know. It was an informative story, I guess, but it wasn't. And good, well acted and all that, but it just,
No dogs were in it, so
there was no dog.
okay.
There might have been a dog in it. I can't think of one though. But
but he wasn't
again,
playing football.
but it wasn't advertised. There should be more dog movies, really.
Absolutely.
Today, like man, could we use a talking dog movie now more than ever? Maybe Bruce Willis could do the voice still. He just can't act anymore, but he could probably do a talking dog.
Is speech affected by what's going on with him, or
I think he's cognitively he's a little off.
He doesn't. It's an Alzheimer-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
I
like
saw a
this
clip-
guy.
I saw
Go
a
ahead.
clip of him doing Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis, and I swear to God, I thought any minute Bruce Willis is gonna beat the shit out of him. Like, what the fuck? He probably fired his publicist for having to show up, but man, he looked tough. Problem or not, cognitive problem or not, he looked like he's whooped some ass.
Remember how tough he looked when he got called on not having a mask on at a store?
No.
That was it was obviously during COVID, but he just looked, he had one of the fucking pull him up mask and whatever, and he was in a place and was pissed off. I mean, it's you're a big star. You don't want to have to fucking pull a mask on.
I think you'd have a mask on anyway, just to not be recognized at Target.
Yeah, I know. It's stupid.
Well, maybe he doesn't know he's famous.
Well,
It could be. Kirstie Alley, another famous person who got kind of tabbed into the whole anti-vax, and I think Bruce Willis was at least photographed in a mega hat. Anyways, Kirstie Alley was hilarious on Cheers. It's a
Yes, she
bummer
was.
that people, like, I think that it's not just her or whatever. It's like it's like people you go fuck them or whatever, and it's like, wait, I used to like them or whatever, and it's like, well, they just got political or whatever, and I get political too. So it's like probably people, there's probably Nazis going, fuck that guy, fuck that liberal piece of shit. Fucking
That's why that's why I don't like it when people get political, is because you want to like them, and then you're like, God damn it, I wish you would have just stayed doing what I liked.
Yeah, I'm Antifa, you're a
Yeah,
Nazi.
just dribble the ball, LeBron.
Yeah. Oh, stay in your lane, man.
I don't have a lane.
Dumb opinion.
I don't have a lane, so I'm all over the road.
Yeah.
Well, but all your fucking driving is funny, so it doesn't matter. So all your lanes are well within your
lane.
Hey, Andy, I think Bruce Willis was doing a bit when he wore the MAGA hat, because he was wearing it on the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show.
Yeah, his last few movies, I mean, it's like, man, I'm sure he had the money or whatever. It's people, but they try to get like 4 or 5 more movies out of him, and he's all right. Eventually they're gonna have him just as Michael Myers wearing a mask. He can't speak anymore.
Yeah,
he's still look menacing.
He's probably got a team of people that depend on him. It's just like when Stanhope's finally done, Chaille will prop him up like a Weekend at Bernie's thing and parade him around the fucking country a couple more times.
I heard they're doing some AI stuff for Stanhope.
He did that for what's his name? What's his name? Harrison Ford.
Hamilton. George Hamilton.
Harrison Ford in one of the Star Wars movies. They had to make him look younger.
Oh right, yeah.
They just did the motion capture.
Yeah. Harrison Ford's doing a new Indiana Jones as the younger dude.
Yeah, I think. Oh, that's probably what it was.
Or part of a scene of it, anyway.
One of the funny things from Zach Galifianakis Between Two Ferns with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis just like really looking pissed off. He just goes, Bruce Willis, some actors turn down roles. And he just, no reaction, just was ready to slug him, I guess.
Bruce was the best.
That hat looks sharp, though, man. Those are good hats. Those are really good hats.
I did a little Christmas shopping today, and I was in a chocolate place. This isn't for you guys, but I got some candy at this, and the lady was in there. It's like a real tight lot, and people were really annoying driving. I forget how there's not much parking, and people are fucking. I haven't been into the Christmas loop for a minute. So I was, and then I parked, and then this lady came in and she was complaining about some car that had closed her in and she couldn't get out, and it was pouring down rain, and she was out there, and now it's and she couldn't. And I realized, oh, that's my car, and then I offered up, I go, maybe that cookie place, and they go, yeah, they're probably next door at the cookie place, and sent her over there
off the scent so you can go move your car.
I didn't exactly rush out to move it or whatever, because I was waiting for it to stop raining, but I threw her off. I realized while she was there, I could have said, oh, that's me, give me a second. But I'm like, no, I'm into the Christmas spirit too. So fuck you.
So what do you mean she was blocked in? Did you park?
I was just parked tight. She could have crawled in through the passenger side.
She couldn't get into the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why she didn't just, a
little too old and a little heavier than she'd like to be to crawl over that seat. But I would have just gone, oh, what an asshole, parked like this and crawled in through the passenger side. But she had to go wander around looking for.
I love that your definition of Christmas spirit is fuck her. Just send her over there. I've got to finish my candy shopping.
Yeah. She's there doing that's what I don't like about the Christmas. Well, I don't want to sound Jehovah's Witness here. But God damn it, would you quit rolling your garbage can?
What?
Oh, the ladies, you can't hear it probably because there's a garbage can rolling up the street.
We can't hear that, Andy.
I know, sorry.
It doesn't matter.
So somebody up the street's bringing their garbage in from the street to their
just
house.
Rolling it.
Just can't have it.
Here, throw eggs at them. That's Christmas spirit.
But the Christmas,
while
Christmas
Andy is
just
telling
like
the
everybody's
story
on this.
of being a
True.
douche on Christmas at a Christmas mall.
Well-
He's bothered by someone else bringing their garbage can
But
in
the
from
problem
street
is-
after a hard day's work.
The problem is everybody gets put on the same time frame, and that's what sucks. Is because
Yeah.
I would like to leisurely Christmas shop, but I don't think about it till the last minute, and then every fucking asshole in town's out hitting the stores. That's the problem. It's like, let's spread it out, and everybody has a different time for it.
When you parked your car, did you notice that you were parked really close on the passenger side to her driver's door?
Nope,
And that
Not at
person
all.
was-
I would normally pull right into a handicap spot, but that's there wasn't one available.
Do you have your roommate's handicap placard? Is that what it is?
Yep. Yeah. It's, I mean, I live with it
Yeah.
handicapped.
Yeah.
I was handicapped when my dad was in a wheelchair. I was handicapped too. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, me and my group. This is we're all, it's like when
Sure.
you're pre-board, she's doing it.
Yeah. Or like when you're going on a ride at Disneyland, you have
Mhm.
one
Yeah.
wheelchair, but that gets all 7 of us on the ride.
Right.
Did you see Southwest Airline is experimenting with letting families board early, but it sounds reasonable. You let these families that want to sit together, and then you let them board, but they can't sit in the first 15 rows.
Mhm.
If that's what they should do, is send people to the middle of the plane first. Go, all
If
right,
you're getting on the plane first, you
Yeah,
should be
if you're
getting in the
B-
back.
yeah, whoever boards first has to go to the middle, because everybody's just slow and fucking takes up the front and shit. Anyway, it doesn't matter if the plane crashes. Nobody's getting their luggage.
Yeah, I never understood any of it really. I mean, I get it that it sucks to be last on the plane because you don't have, room for your carry-on anywhere. But if you can figure that out, like I've changed my whole style where I just have one bag and I check it. So I don't have shit on the plane. I don't have
Yeah.
to carry anything. So at that
You-
point, I am happy to be the last person on the plane. As
Doesn't
long as there's a
matter.
seat for
It
me.
doesn't matter to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the plane any longer than I have to be. So I don't want to be on there
Yeah.
first.
I
Sit
have
there
my
for
bag.
25 minutes.
I have my bag that if I'm the last one and they make me check it, but they pay for
Yeah.
it, then that's okay. That's how I look at it
Yeah.
too. Like, okay, it's checkable, but I didn't want to pay to check it. So that's
Mhm.
I mean, even in first class when I'm traveling with Doug, I have a backpack and it goes right at my feet, which is probably one of the most disgusting places to put something, because
Mhm.
everyone walking in the shitter or in the men's room at an airport, it's
Mhm.
basically partially
there.
flooded with urine anyway, and those feet are going right down there. So, but I mean, that's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, I don't think they've spent a lot of time cleaning that under the seat area either. Remember I had shit I tracked into the airplane.
That was an episode.
Oh my
My sister-in-law one time was she was flying from Anchorage, Alaska, down to California, and she was running late, and she had to make this flight, and she fucking got skunked. She fucking got sprayed with a skunk before getting on the plane.
What?
She's like, I had to catch that flight. And I go,
No.
you had the balls to even just continue to go to the airport? That you could do that
And
at the
what-
gate. Look, I can't get on that plane. And she got on the plane with this odor of
how
skunk.
did they let her
Wow.
pass the first gate?
I have no idea.
How did-
Nope.
I have other questions. How are you in a situation? I mean, getting sprayed by a skunk, first of all, is just what are the circumstances around that? And
It's a
how
bad
could
day.
it, and what are you doing so close to leaving for the airport that involves a skunk? Like it
I
just
think it
doesn't
was like
seem-
wrangling a dog or something. And then it was like, oh, and then it all happens, and it's like, ah, shit, I gotta go. And then it's pretty wild. I can't believe that they let her on, because that would be just mortifying
Yeah,
They
but,
doused her
you
in
know.
tomato juice.
But my brother Larry flew
Take
someplace.
60 cans of tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what would you like? I mean, you know, like my brother Larry would smell worse than what you described, and then
Yeah.
some other stuff. I go, you know, but he flew. You know, you can't go. Look, man, you're just too fucking. You know,
They can stop
sorry,
you.
man.
Sir,
That's
you
their
smell like
job
you
is
just
to
shit in a
stop you.
urinal. You can't get on this airplane.
Yeah. He
You realize there's
That's a
brown
decent
streak all the
callback,
way
my
up your
friend.
back.
he got it. So his dog died, and then I think I told you this, but he snorted some of it, keep it close to him or whatever. And it
What?
seemed like he snorted it was a pug. So I don't know if he snorted the whole thing or part of it,
To keep
but
up
he took a
ashes.
gack of his dog, Maggie, took a
You didn't
whack
tell
of
us
Maggie. Yeah, and then it seemed like, wow, it's kind of a, you know, you hear that and you go, well, I bet he's gonna just kill himself or something, overdose or whatever. And then I hear he's gonna get a new dog. So I was like, well, shit, man, he's back. You know, he's oh, there's a really snorting pug. I was like, what? So yeah, he snorted a
I
snorting
was
pug.
like, maybe Andy did tell us because Chaille made a whole slide for it. I must
Damn.
have missed it.
Maybe it's a thing people do.
Yeah, so
Maybe that's
yeah.
why he's getting a bigger dog. The
It
pug
makes
was-
sense when you
it
see
just
that,
got him
because
into
that
it.
dog was known for, you know, I mean, those dogs make a lot of snorting noises. So out of respect, you
It's
Oh,
what he
wow.
would have wanted.
yeah. So he did a gack blast of Maggie, and then he wanted to adopt a dog, and they bring in California dogs that are going to get euthanized, and then they adopt them out to people.
Yep.
And Larry got first come, first serve, and he figured he's just going to adopt the best dog, but they didn't see it that way with, you know. David had to really step in and shame him. Like, it took emails and phone calls going, oh, I guess he's not good enough for one of your dogs, huh? Or you know, but Larry went there and he was like, you know, he was Larry. And they
Wait,
go,
hold on, Andy. David was like hounding the adoption
well,
agency.
he's the one who
Like,
told
how
him
dare
about
you? My brother is totally
Wait,
totally
yeah.
wait, hold on. So wait, first are you saying they decided, wait, we're just gonna kill this dog?
right.
You know what?
We don't want to
Kinda,
let
they-
this
they
dog
sent him
better
live,
off
away.
dead.
Yeah, so David's the one who told him about this thing. So Larry showed up, and then Larry spooked him, and they weren't about to give him a dog, and then he didn't get but he was there first. So I mean, I would have said he gets the first fucking dog.
I'm
cash
actually
money.
glad that there's their only requirement and aspect of decision making is order of the line.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, you know, he was there early. Anyway, they didn't give him the dog that he wanted, or but it's probably good that they sized him up, and then they looked at the dogs and they gave him like an old one.
Oh, they gave one that was going to die on the way home.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you got
11.
there early. You didn't want
It's
the
11.
three-legged dog.
It's a
God
little
damn it.
dog, but it's 11. So that's like, isn't that like they're almost fucking dead at
That's
11
pretty close.
a lot of times. So, but it's kind of funny. But they charge him $400 for David goes, they charge him
shit.
$400 for a dog that's nearly dead.
400.
But yeah, I guess adoption fee, it is kind of
Wow.
bullshit. I think that they, but hopefully Larry won't have to snort this one.
Bullshit.
It'd be cool if it ate him or something.
That's just the circle of life right there.
Yeah. So he's got so I guess that's his will. He's got a will to live.
So they
there.
did give him a dog.
He did, but they gave him kind of like
Not a good
a
one.
defective one.
Leftover.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. But it's like it's kind of fitting too.
Yeah.
I mean, Larry wouldn't be the first one the dogs chose neither.
It would be a weird lot in life to where, I mean, you have to really consider the decisions you're making if they won't even give you a dog that they're going to kill. Like that's my rock bottom.
Time for a little in front of the mirror moment is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Man, what are you doing, Chaille?
Maybe I am annoying.
A three-legged dog with one eye and no ears. They wouldn't
Yeah.
even let you take it for a walk.
This dog is
He needs
better
one
off
without a
dead,
sense
yeah.
of smell.
No.
They asked me to leave the shelter. They
Yeah.
locked the door behind me.
Yeah, he presents as a guy, somebody who might be outdoors and maybe a little
Yeah.
off his meds.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would vouch for him. I've seen Larry taking plenty of meds. I don't know if they took him in the right order or whatever, but to say he's off of them is inaccurate.
Hey, Larry, let's go in here. You're depressing the dogs, Larry. Come on, let's. Can we go over here to fill out this paperwork?
A few of the dogs have gone back to California.
So yeah, I guess in California, if you don't like your dog, you just get rid of it, and then they kill
I think
it.
that's everywhere, actually.
Yeah, that's not
Well,
a
there's-
California thing.
Depends on what your nationality is, what you do with a dog you don't want. I think well, I mean, like the Bisbee Animal Shelter is a no-kill shelter, so there's no dogs that are gonna get put down. But I think California, it's a mixed bag, so that's probably why they've got a glut of them. Because I know Kelly from Poco Kelly will actually go to Mexico and like bring across dogs.
We've got different types of shelters around me, and then in between that, we've also got a stretch of desert.
Yeah,
that
Park.
people just fucking drop their dogs off. And
Wow.
So there's a wide range of things you can do.
It's crazy, it's like the you have a pet and you love it, and then at some point you go, all right, you shit the rug, let's go out and let you slow die out in the desert.
Well,
It's a shitty way to do it. I mean, if you at the very least, you should be able to take your own pet out with a needle or something. But to leave it to just fucking suffer its own fate.
Any option that you choose to abandon a dog makes you an absolute 100% piece of shit. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
I
even
had-
up for discussion.
I had a family of cats move away from me, but it wasn't me. It was they weren't mine. They were my roommates that they took off. Yeah. This
So
cat,
you've not only got incidents with bad neighbors, you've got incidents with bad neighboring
it's
cats.
just- I hate to even admit this because I'm a cat person and I don't even know, but I was just in my own shit. I was 19 or 20 and getting drunk most days and plotting to steal furniture at night or whatever, and then a roommate had a cat, and then that cat had kittens, and then one day that cat just removed the kittens one at a time. They were outside and they took them one at a time away and just moved to some other apartment.
Realizing the danger that you
And
presented.
I wasn't responsible
It's
for
not-
feeding or care of the animal, but I guess I could have stepped in and seen a need. I was trying to get laid. I don't know. I wasn't a very good person.
Good. It's good to know that Andy's ability to walk the room is crosses species.
Mhm.
The history goes deep.
Yeah.
I think at
Not
that
everybody
time
sees the brilliance, you got to get under there. Some people aren't willing to invest that kind of time.
at that time, I think I think I just thought cats took care of themselves. I don't know how we did it. We had them around
Sort
our
of.
house. My dad had had me throw water on them or to get them off of the birds or whatever, but I don't, remember the feeding process.
Wait, what was the
He would tell me, go douse that animal. He he liked to play God
Well,
when
we
it
do
came
know
to birds.
your dad had a soft spot in his heart for dousing people on the road.
yeah.
Yeah, he doused. Yeah, I'd like to think he's up in heaven driving big puddles of water on animals and people.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, he would have me throw the water and go douse that animal. I
Like
I
a
do it.
pail of water or a hose?
A bucket of water, like
So-
a pitcher.
Andy, go get your cat bucket. I
I
need
like
you to
it
take-
from a height too. It was our house was like a big, so I'd run up,
Now it's like a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner situation. Like when you had to like trick the cat
Oh.
into walking around underneath you.
We
Did
didn't
you
want
have a
that
big
cat.
anvil from Acme on standby?
Kind of like that. Yeah, we'd catch it like and if you hit it square, it would fucking freak the cat out, And the idea would be
Freak a person
don't
out.
murder, man. Don't murder.
Don't murder. Well, why were you doing this? Was this to wash the cat?
My
Were you
dad
trying to-
just didn't. My dad didn't like it. He didn't
Oh,
like
this
the
was a
idea of
punishment
cats
for-
murdering birds. Yeah, so
Oh, so he
would
was
have-
mad about.
yeah, I was his
cat-
legs for him. My dad wanted to run up the stairs and dump a bucket of water on the cat, but he couldn't, so he'd have me do it. I'd educate him.
So your dad was just a fan of songbirds. He would see the beautiful bird in the tree.
Yeah. Well, he
singing
was
a beautiful love song.
He would put bird food out, and he didn't want to see some cat murdering cat. Yeah, that's what he'd call it. I don't think he liked cats as much as I do now.
So
I wouldn't allow for that. I wouldn't do that to my cat. It would fucking make it.
Well, I mean, you
nervous.
weren't doing it to your cat. You guys were doing it to a neighbor's
wa-
cat.
No, it was my cat. They were our cats.
They were your cats.
I didn't. Yeah, but I didn't consider them that. They were just cat. Like cats just kind of hung around and shit. But I didn't consider them ours or theirs or anybody's. But we had them.
Well, the fact that you say we had them means that you're responsible for them.
I wasn't.
Yes.
I mean,
the answer, the way to frame that question, Andy, would be, were they for sure anyone else's cats?
Well, I think our house we had other, we had a cast of neighbor cats that would hang around too.
I like it. Andy's
like
being very
something-
careful, like this is a deposition.
He leans over to talk to his lawyer.
We can't. I'm
Your
gonna
Honor,
I do
can
not
I
recall
approach-
whose cats they were.
I'm gonna take the fifth on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Your
with
Honor, we
rum.
haven't even established that these were in fact cats. One of them might have been a possum.
Is a
Well-
cat really anyone's ever?
Yeah, I
Own
mean,
anything? Another living thing?
All property is theft, sir.
May have been a squirt gun. We're not even sure if there was.
Right.
I was aware of my grandma's cat that she took, but we just had cats, and maybe somebody fed them, but it wasn't. But I know my grandma was always big on the moist food for her cats.
So they didn't have names.
Mustache was hers. I know it was Mustache.
Good question, Chad. Good question.
Okay.
Well, I know we had one my dad called Hitler, but I don't know if I can, I don't know if that was because it had some sort of a marking or it killed a lot of birds.
That wasn't Mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, I
No,
think that says a lot about the person naming the cat. One person named the cat Mustache.
Well, no, that was a different one.
I mean, Mustache is the family friendly name.
Yeah.
But if you want to go deep into it,
Wasn't what Hitler had not considered a mustache though? Isn't there a different
Oh,
I
name?
don't
that
think
not
there's a
a
name
mustache?
for whatever it was he was doing anymore. I think that it's over.
It was,
so-
yeah.
I mean, it was really the chaplain.
Well,
I mean, it's the same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Just that it's kind of stuck with one guy over the other.
mhm,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, chap.
Yeah, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but that does not hold
It's a
true.
good
for
thing Charlie
facial hair.
Chaplin was had other shit to fall back on. Yeah, man. That Hitler guy.
Yeah, he
keep-
sure
I
made his
keep-
impression easy to do.
Yeah. Even for Chaplin.
It is.
Mhm.
It
The
is.
one where he played
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hitler?
The little
Oh, yeah.
dictator or whatever.
Oh yeah, little dictator. That seems like a thing Brett
a
would
movie?
do, is to correct someone when they say a Hitler mustache. He goes, don't you mean a chaplain?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
That would be your
exactly.
I don't think it comes up enough though.
I'll have to do some research.
Yeah.
Did I tell you guys about, I can't remember if I've told this on here. A couple weeks ago at the car dealer here in Austin, we saw a black guy
Oh,
straight
man.
up with
Oh.
a Hitler mustache. I know already, right? But
Texas?
with an absolute Hitler mustache, a chubby black guy with just the perfect fucking piece right here.
Was it Kanye?
Well, that's what we were joking about. Like, man, Kanye's really having an effect on the community. But we couldn't believe it. Like, he walked by me, and then I had to send Mitchell around. Like, he was at the other end of the dealership doing something, and I had to send Mitchell down there. She had to like think of something to try to be doing when she was walking around down there to get a look at it, because I couldn't fucking believe it. I
Was
wanted
it
to
an
make sure.
old guy?
No, he was like 30, maybe
Okay,
a
he's
normal
protected.
looking.
Huh.
He looked like a kind of a chubby, kind of plays a lot of video games, kind of nerdy guy. Definitely wasn't an employee there. I don't know if his car was getting its oil changed or what was going on, but I've never seen a real Hitler mustache in the wild before, and to see it
Yeah.
on an African American person just threw me for another loop. I
Mhm.
don't know if that's better, worse, weirder, not weirder. I
Well,
don't
that should be
just
the
didn't-
group to take it back. I think didn't Michael? I think there's a picture of Michael Jordan with one. Yeah,
Right there.
right there. Hitler Jordan for a
Is
minute.
that for
But,
real? Did that
yeah,
happen?
yeah. And he like
But he went with the soul patch underneath too, so that at least gets you a little
Soften it
bit
a
of-
little bit,
gets
maybe.
you off of it a little. But Andy, you're totally right. If any group of people could make a Hitler mustache cool, it's black people.
mhm.
They have the ability to make everything cool, and then
Maybe
we'll start
JB
doing it, and we'll start killing Jews.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't. I've had. Like, I don't think I've ever had a real mustache, a cool one, anyway. Like, more John Waters than Tom Selleck, whatever. But I've had that where I've shaved just that and looked at it for a minute, and I've never gone, that's a good look on me, or whatever. But I certainly didn't wear it out.
I don't think I've ever seen you with facial hair.
I don't think I have either.
I can grow. Yeah, I don't think.
Can
I mean,
you?
I'm not really great at it, but I mean,
That
looks
might
cool.
be the guy we saw in Austin. I am not kidding you. That looks exactly.
it's probably there's only like Jordan and this guy have done it.
That might be the most racist thing that ever's been said on this podcast.
Which is saying something.
But that's I wonder if that's like not considered a Hitler because he's got kind of kind of bows
Oh, it
out.
kind of flares at the bottom.
Yeah, that might
Yeah.
just be the very, yeah.
Yeah. You just give it that last little zip right at the end. At the top.
Yeah,
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Just trust me.
That's
it's a fine line there.
I'm not gonna say that.
Chad was about to say the new most
I
racist
was
thing that had ever
about to
been
top
said.
it out, but I won't.
Oh shit.
It's that holiday weed.
Yeah, a lot of controversial stuff on the podcast today, you guys. Fleetwood Mac encouraging people to
Well,
join Satan's army.
Yeah, I wish I could think of the name of that preacher, Larson. I think his last name was Larson. Yeah, I mean, there's probably new stuff you can spin backwards. I'm sure there
I don't
is.
think so. It doesn't. I don't think.
Yeah, I know,
I don't think
today's
digital works that way.
I know,
at
but
all,
today's
right?
music, you wouldn't want to spin it backwards. Could you? Fuck them. It's nothing.
Easy, Gramps.
It's
First,
nothing like
he's rewinding Taylor Swift getting run over by a truck over and over
I
again.
think- Was the Eagles had some Satan shit too? I
Was
forget.
it Bob Larson?
Bob Larson? Yeah, that's him.
He looks creepy, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Bob Larson was the name of our
He-
one of our anchormen in Peoria forever.
You know what it was like? It was like when you could that overnight radio guy you'd hear talking about aliens or whatever.
Art Bell.
Yeah, Art Bell. It was scary. It freaked me, because I didn't hear
Yeah.
Art Bell a lot, but when you hear it and it freaked you out, that's what this guy was. It was like, I don't know.
Andy?
Yep, that's him. He's
he
aged
looks-
just as I'd hoped.
Wow.
It just kind of freaked you out. It was like, this big Satan, I was like, I guess it was like QAnon type of shit. I was getting this real fucking targeted gaslit stuff about satanic music and the devil's message and all this shit, and then hearing it and so yeah.
That was the time,
guess-
right? When the 70s and into the 80s, early 90s,
Mhm.
that whole run.
Yeah, big evangelical. That could
and
have been
Satan and Satanists in rock and roll and cults murdering children, culminating in the West Memphis 3 being convicted of
right, and
killing
it
those
led
kids and-
that kind of mentality led directly to probably Ronald Reagan being the choice of president on riding the religious right wingers a little bit. I think he was one, not maybe the first, but he definitely got the evangelicals on his side.
Yeah, it's just called the Southern strategy. It's documented.
Yeah.
The documented choice and decision that he made that ended up, steering that whole political party with him that direction.
Mm-hmm.
He was very into exorcisms.
Who,
there's a
Reagan?
thing called the
Oh,
devil
yeah,
inside.
Larson. Yeah.
Oh, Larson.
Uh-huh. He's probably he's wrestled the devil. That one.
I think
Is
you
that
have to call it
was that a Raw
wrestle.
event?
I think
WWE
that's his
Raw
thing.
event?
He performs exorcisms. We should bring him to the desert. He'd say that guys just give guys some LSD and say this kid's possessed of the devil and see if what Bob Larson can do about it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he
Oh,
looks
man.
creepy, man.
Yeah, but man,
Is
that's
this the guy that your brother followed? And told
he
you
was
about
well.
that
He
asking
was
and
in
stuff?
that. I don't know how they. There was a. It was something they listened to. I don't know how he, where the tape came from, but it was like that. Four Square Assembly of God kind of evangelical. It was those were the early fucking people that kind of make up the new evangelicals.
Are those cowboy boot trophies
Those
over
are
his
when
right
he took.
shoulder?
He took
Oh,
Satan's little.
Back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like bookends or like
Oh, they're
if you
bookends. That's
bronzed
probably
your
what they are.
baby's
They're
first
bookends.
Juice.
Well, they are bookends, but that's what threw me. Usually when you see bookends, there's books between them. But people who read the Bible don't need
just one
books.
book.
They got
Just
it.
one.
They got the
Yeah.
book. So
Yeah.
that's exactly
And
why.
plus, he's
Their bookends are very close together.
you
Yeah.
probably have to memorize a lot of it to do exorcisms. You don't want to like, oh, hang on, let me get this, and then try to look on your phone. I wonder if they, the new guy people doing exorcism have it on their tablet or
Yeah.
something.
I pluribus when I should have unumed.
You think you can stop me? Yeah, there hasn't been I guess they keep those secret, man. There hasn't been a
Well,
good exorcism.
remember do you guys remember the scene from Johnny Dangerously when they're breaking Johnny Dangerously out of prison, and it's he's being walked to the electric chair, but the priest is one of his buddies, and he's reading the Bible, and but it's all just Latin gibberish. That was a classic fucking magna cum laude, summa cum laude. The radio's too loudy. He's just like walking.
That was a good silly movie.
Oh my
I need to
god.
watch that one again.
And probably
there's a good recommendation. Johnny Dangerously.
probably
That's
the
with,
best.
Michael Keaton, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably the best Joe Piscopo movie you can find.
Yes.
And I think Joe Piscopo probably did like a half a dozen anyway, maybe
Yeah.
more.
You hadn't ought to hang me on a hook, Johnny.
Yeah,
My grandma hung me on a hook once.
he was great in that.
Here, I got it. Hold on a second.
He got way into bodybuilding, Joe
Yeah, he blew
Piscopo.
up. Is it this? I think this is
This
the
is it.
Espiritu Santo. Te Gustavus?
So long, Johnny.
Me Gustavus?
You bet.
You Gustavus. We missed the bus. They missed the bus.
Be brave, huh, Johnny?
When's the next bus?
Always, Nails.
Summa cum laude? Magnum cum laude? The radio's too loud. Adjusted
Good luck,
Fidelis?
Johnny.
Semper Fidelis? High
Oh,
Fidelis?
yeah, they're giving him all parts of a
How did I
gun to
take
put
shots?
together.
Fourth Meridian? Anti-Meridian? Uncle Meridian? All the little meridians.
Goodbye, Johnny. Bye, Rock.
The Magna Carta? Master Charger?
Spit in his eye, Johnny.
Doom
You
Procellis?
bet, Rabbi.
Lots of Vitalis.
Do you have any last words, Johnny? Well said.
I think the gun falls apart too. Spoiler alert.
Okay, Warden. This is where we say our goodbyes. Come on, buddy.
Johnny, you weren't really gonna kill me, were you?
What? With this?
classic.
Oh man. Crime doesn't pay. Well, it paid a little.
I never saw that movie.
Of course not.
I'm a fan of Michael Keaton.
Speaking of movies and bullshit, Ggreg Chaille related. I don't go on Facebook much anymore, but I was on Facebook for a few minutes this morning, and then I see our good friend down in Florida, Charles F, with a complete, I don't even know if he watches this podcast or listens, but Charles, you got it all wrong. He was taught, his post was, hey, what should I watch on Peacock now that I have Peacock for a week or whatever? I don't know if he got it for the World Cup or whatever, but he's on like a trial run. And then someone said, oh, I heard Yellowstone's really good. It was Don Little. Don Little said, I heard Yellowstone's really good. And then his comment back was, well, I don't know. I don't know if I trust any recommendations from Brett Erickson after that awful Nick Cage movie.
Wow.
So, first of all, how dare you?
Wait, are you insinuating?
Secondly, I never once recommended Yellowstone. I said it was stupid the entire time. I did nothing but complain about how terrible Yellowstone was. I just had to get that off my chest.
Well, your taste is suspect when you
So
go
maybe
all
that's it.
into this Nick Cage vehicle that was
Erickson hates Yellowstone. You should watch it. It's probably brilliant.
I
I
guess
love that
yeah.
Yellowstone. I
Well,
like
Harrison
rich
Ford.
people.
Harrison Ford's in the new prequel to the prequel.
Yeah, and he's younger.
Yeah.
No.
No. That's the Indiana Jones
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But just as an example of how hard it is to get your message out there, you get out there, you rail against Yellowstone week after week after week, and then you flip on the internet, and what's the takeaway? Erickson loves Yellowstone and recommends it highly, 5 stars.
People don't listen, Brad.
They don't listen. Charles.
I think people understand that the Power of the Dog was a ripoff. If they listened at all. It's like,
yeah, well, I guess they listen to you. I guess your name's in the title, so I guess that kind of goes
it's on the sticker.
I don't think Power of the Dog got the kind of the juice that Yellowstone did. Yellowstone came out of the
It's like a
Power of the Dog was nominated for an Academy Award.
yeah, but I think that was quick. Flash of the pan.
One of those flash in the pan Oscar nominated films.
There's what 3 seasons of Yellowstone. There's a prequel now, a prequel to the prequel.
Yeah,
and then there'll be another prequel, and I think they're allowing for another prequel.
That guy's
1923.
running the whole thing.
They'll have to do 1940 or 1950. It'll be
Have to have a
Fonzie.
couple gens.
Fonzie will be working the ranch.
Henry Winkler's gonna get a shot.
That would be
Could have
cool
been
to see
the,
Henry Winkler on there.
yeah.
The ball suit to make him look younger.
Henry Winkler is not. I think he's been. He's always entertaining. Whatever I've seen him in.
Yeah.
Remember he did a Christmas a Christmas Story. What's the Charles Dickens one?
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Yeah, Fonzie did that one.
He did?
Yeah, years ago. It was like a TV.
Man, you remember everything. How do you remember?
Well, I was like, I had TV guides. I was like, I would look through TV Guide and select which shows I was going to premiere and shit.
Wait, you were sitting on the couch in your house coat and like circling things on the TV
Yeah.
guide.
Yeah. And then his dad would be like, Andy, douse that cat. Like,
It's your cat bucket.
You needed the TV Guide back then because
Yeah,
you didn't
Fonzie's on. Come on.
you had to have a TV guide because you had to get up and turn the channel, so you wanted to have a pretty good strategy.
That's true.
Or you'd be getting up like, oh, I want to watch this, and then 15 minutes
Yeah.
later you go, I wonder what's over there. I remember that being
Good
a big.
point.
My dad did not like that when I would, like, and he was right. I would burn out the TV or whatever, but just you remember, just flipping the dial and
dude,
flinging. through
I can
channels.
only imagine what a young Andy Andrist must have done to the fucking knobs on the TV. That would have made.
Yeah.
I
know
know
what-
what dad on this one. I'll bet you were.
I mean, I think it bears mentioning that there was a time. I mean, we don't know who watches this, but there was a time when you had to click
yeah.
over. There were no. Remember, there was even a remote that had a tone, It was just a bar inside of a box. You would click the button. I don't even know how those fucking things worked, but I mean, there was a time when you had to get up, or you fought to get up because
Yeah.
you didn't lose your place. on the
Right.
couch.
Yeah, well, but that's why Andy's totally right about the
Yeah.
TV guide. The TV guide was
That-
necessary because you're only going to want to get up once. You're going to want to make that right selection.
That's why you a big like lead-in shows and stuff that, you know, like almost none of that matters in today's, you know,
Right.
marketplace, but you'd whatever was after Happy Days, you know. I mean, I
Yeah.
watched Laverne and Shirley and I didn't really like it.
But you watched it for
I watched it because it was after Happy Days, and then I'd stick around for a little Three's Company afterwards.
I liked Laverne and Shirley. I thought Laverne and Shirley was a good show. I thought it was
Great
fun.
time,
Great opening.
great open. Yeah.
Well, Shirley, not so much Laverne.
You know, here's a little piece of trivia, and Chaille probably knows this, but the Big Ragu
Yeah.
on that show, his one of his teachers was Doug Stanhope's father. He taught the Big Ragu. Yeah, Doug said that the Big Ragu.
Is that in the book? I feel like that was in the first book.
I don't know.
remember that.
But that's, you know, Doug was brushing up against celebrity even back then. You imagine running into the Big Ragu. Well, Henry Phillips on the set of Porky's too. That's, you know, it's got to be one of them fucking amazing things. Henry
Porky's
hanging
is
out.
right up there with not as classic, but it's right up there with Blazing Saddles, and like they can't make movies like that. Porky's is pretty bad. I mean, good, but I mean, it was a time when you could do.
But you don't think the opening scene of a bunch of guys burrowing into the women's locker room to have 3 holes cut in the shower and watch them all take showers, and then one of them sticks their dick through one of the holes? How is that in any way not just timeless comedy?
Good, clean fun, man.
It was
boys being boys.
I could take all that, but the racism. That's what I remember upon rewatching it a year.
Yeah, but wasn't it
pandemic.
anti-racist? That was the message, right?
Right, but also the language, you know, where you go, wow, you know, they were definitely throwing around the N-word or whatever, but that told the story. It's like a Tarantino or whatever. It's, you know, part of well, not quite.
That would be a great remake if Quentin Tarantino remade Porky's.
Yeah, like Reservoir Dogs.
How about it? Instead of Porky being a fat white guy, it's Samuel Jackson.
Of course, it would have to be.
And Vic Rames was there as his bouncer. Was Vic Rames still around?
Looks like we got us a couple of Angel Beach faggots. Isn't that what they called them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They could make it.
Chaille, you can edit that out. I'm sorry I said that. I
Faggots?
apologize. I know it's extra work for you. We say things and then we forget that.
That was but you were doing a voice of a character in our parody of Porky's.
Right.
If F was added to the LGBT thing, it would just, because I think there is faggots, a subculture that are.
Now we're just diving right in.
That are faggots.
Well, yeah, now it makes no sense to edit it because it.
Yeah, now
they'll know what I said.
I'm trying to bail you out,
but I mean, you know,
like, because it's like, you know, it's like some people are like, oh man, that guy, yeah, or whatever, and that's not cool or whatever. But within the culture, you might identify as that within that.
Yeah,
that's what.
Well, of course, there's you know, there's the group of homosexual men called fag hags, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's women who hang out with gay men, and the women aren't gay.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm trying to think.
I knew the term before I knew what it meant.
I'm trying to think of other problematic themes within the Porky's franchise, like they were all going to gangbang one hooker, but that wasn't bad, right? Yeah,
that wasn't a gangbang.
Right, you mentioned
she was just taking them all on one at a time.
Yeah, but she never did it. It was all a prank.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you
what.
But
all those guys were more than willing to be, you know, 15th in line at the
Pee Wee should have been talked to about his, his sexual talk with women. Pee Wee was a very aggressive.
They were horny
how's
boys.
you need to get laid is not something you need to be discussing with the women.
Yeah, but that was completely our the way our take on like adolescence was like, you gotta
Absolutely.
get laid. I remember
Oh yeah.
I mean,
And every one of us would have gladly peered
Uh-huh.
into the women's shower in high school.
Oh man, I did. Yeah, I mean, I looked in on a theatrical group changing outfits.
You did?
Yeah, I spied on the. Me and my brother were. I guess he was Peep and I was Tom or whatever. But we would go hoist each other up and look in the window. Of this old there's still a production. It's still a long running production in Coquille called the Sawdust Theater.
Oh yeah,
I remember you
Sawdust
said.
Theater over there by Bill's.
Yeah, you
and-
told us about that, but
yeah,
I don't
and we
think you
would-
told us that you hoisted each other up to watch.
Peep and Tom.
Well, or would there's something to stand on, but it was a little too high, but we knew they were changing outfits.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it was a
I
crime of
remember this story
convenience
now.
because there happened to be a milk crate there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of
There
them.
Set
wasn't
up.
a
It's a
two-step ladder,
setup.
it wouldn't have happened.
So that was I mean, I think my brother might be he was leading me down a bad path because I was a
Yeah.
little kid. I wasn't interested in that stuff, but then I was.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, all you would have needed for such a different life is to have had a sister. Just one
Mhm.
sister.
Yeah.
Who could have fucking taken care of you and protected you.
Or an
Yeah,
older
showed you
brother
a
with
different-
conscience.
How about
Yeah.
we adopted a black woman in the family and have a sister, a sister.
Sister.
But now you're writing 70s sitcom.
But
for sure.
I know. I was there was a group of singers, I guess, group of singers that came to my church, and I don't know if they were. I think maybe at least there was a 4 or 5 of them that were black anyway, and I was smitten with the ladies, and I was a cute little fella, and they were hugging me and holding on to me and stuff, and I was like, man, that was as happy as I've ever been.
I can
And
see
you'd
that.
rather be adopted into black family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have been adopted
I
into
mean,
their family.
was Steve Martin ever any happier than he was in the first
Uh-huh.
scene from the jerk
yeah.
with his
I'm-
happy black?
I told you
family?
about when we stayed it was like at church camp. We got to be friends with a black family, the Pritchetts,
Mhm.
and and we stayed at their house, or I did. I think it was just me and there was 5 boys in the family, and the old man he'd stopped the car and he ran off drug dealers on his corner or whatever. That's what it seemed like at the time.
Hey,
He
if
might
you're
have
at
just
church camp, why are you at someone's house?
I was real
Did
easy
you have any-
prey. I guess I'm not sure how that worked out, but
There
I
we
wanted to
go.
go. I guess it was family camp, and then I went and hung out at their
Someone
place for a
called
night
it
or 2.
camp.
Yeah.
But
Farmed you out to a family.
yeah, it's weird how it seems like why would you beat your kids when you have company? But there were a couple of kids who required belt whippings when I
Well,
was
you
there.
were there?
Company?
Yeah, I wasn't needing it, but David and Willis sure needed a whipping.
Wait.
I don't even
Hey,
remember what
did you
happened.
inject
but-
yourself into the plot of Different Strokes in your
Yeah,
own
it
head?
sounded like
somehow?
No, they, I have pictures of me with the family, so I know it happened.
I love that like Andy is like talking about this, but he's not stumbling on the fact that he was told, "Oh, you're going to church camp. Follow this black family to their car
He's
and
a pre-
go
he
to
was
their
a-
house."
This is
How
after
was that
church camp was over.
It was like a week-long family camp in Canby, which is kind of on the outskirts of Portland, and then I went into Northeast Portland with this family, and
is a
in a
family
real,
camp?
it was like, to me, it was like scary because I was getting immersed into a community, and in Northeast Portland is kind of a traditionally wasn't a great area. and there were, we ate grits and there were whippings.
Man, you're poor. I mean, you're such a dude. Your childhood is so fun. Like your family just basically, I feel like this, like they were just so hard pressed and up against it at all times that if anyone wanted to take you home for any amount of time, they were
Just want to
happy
show that the
to have
smallest
you
amount
go.
of interest into taking
Yes,
a boy.
go with them. Spend a week or two. It's
We're gonna call it
one
church camp.
Family
fewer
camp.
mouth
Yeah,
to
that's
feed.
a thing. Go with them.
Yeah.
I wish I wish
is
I'd have
church
gotten
camp,
whipped.
Andy. This is what church camp looks like.
Well, that was part of it, yeah. And I hung out with Willis and David, and I think we were just palling around. So I got invited to go to their house for an overnight.
Join their family.
It might also be, Andy, that that you subconsciously, were seeing other families and wanting so badly to have a better experience that you were like, glomming onto them. I wouldn't blame you a bit.
Maybe
Like,
my dad
hey,
sent
can
me
I
over
come
there
home
to
with
get
you
whipped.
guys like a puppy?
Yeah.
You're like a puppy.
Is it? Well, I'm like the kid, like, Eddie Haskell or whatever. I'm, hanging out with other families. What was Eddie? I don't think they ever showed Eddie Haskell's
And be
family.
stealing shit in their house.
Yeah.
No,
Dousing their cats.
I didn't steal from property, or I stole from companies back in my youth.
You had a specific, you had
I
a
think stealing
code
from
of
a person.
conduct.
Yeah, I had a code of
Dexter.
conduct. I know stealing from somebody was wrong.
Yeah, well,
A store
much
had a bunch
nailed
of
that
stuff.
Solid.
Yeah, I still stand by that as a
That's still
philosophy.
Absolutely. Oh man.
Yeah, I was but so I got to hear him preach though, and I heard him years later. You couldn't
Mr.
understand him.
Pritchett?
Yeah, he spoke.
So this is the guy who was beating his children in front of you?
Well, he had it wasn't, I mean, he disciplined them. He whipped them with a belt. But they come down and they go, they didn't want it. They go, Dad, no, or whatever. And then Dad was like, no. And then he had to whip them. I don't know, but maybe that's why my dad sent me to go hang out with him. It's like, this guy will whip some sense into my boy.
Yeah. Maybe you'll at least see how good you got it here.
Yeah. I guess it was kind of cool. I wish I could have hung out longer. But I did not care for grits, and I didn't, I don't think they probably didn't want me to hang out with any longer either, because I was like, I'm sure I pulled some of my if I didn't like something, I would just start crying.
We honestly, dude, everything you say is like another breakthrough in your therapy. If you think about that statement, Jesus Christ, it was all right there. It just needed just to be unearthed, just to peel back the first layer of earth. And you're like, oh my God, you poor child. Come here. Let me help you.
I love that the takeaway is, oh, and I found out I don't like grits.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think I would have liked.
If I didn't like something, I would just start crying all the time. All the time.
I think Chaille was in the room when I got my first whipping from a black woman, right at Art Hinty's place with the
with the prostitutes and the Cadillac Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that didn't trigger you.
Yeah, I know. That's what.
Well, he thought he was going to get a hug.
That's what I kind of felt like. Man, I felt like rolling over and saying, "Man, I know the Pritchetts in Northeast Portland. Peter, David, Willis, Peter, and Corey." And the old man, but yeah, the old man, he I almost say like kind of like Mushmouth. Like he couldn't really,
from the Cosby Kids.
He just had a real hard. I mean, it was like probably real like New Orleans or something. But I remember not being able to understand a word that come out of his mouth. But his kids did, and they knew it was time to get whipped. He might have asked me to get whipped too. I just didn't understand it. I think the boys knew what it was about.
How many days did you stay with this family?
I think two days or 2 nights. Yeah, it just went back with them a couple. We went to church camp.
Right. Yeah, you went and you stayed.
And then we run amok, and I didn't realize back then, like we went over and we're on some farmer's property who didn't want us over there. It was like adjacent to the church camp, and we were, he was chasing us and threatening us. And then I realized, wow, I was like, I was running with the black kids
And he
on
joined
probably
a
a
posse.
racist farm, That racist farmer wouldn't have known I wasn't one of them.
But you were stealing. Were you stealing like apples or something?
Just going over there, getting away from the camp and shit. You cross a pond and go across, and then you're over in this farmer's property.
Was there a caper? Were you guys? I mean, you're usually not stealing.
But
something.
I mean, I think if you're on a, in rural Oregon on some farmer's property with two black kids, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if
He
you are a
treated it
Christian.
as, I mean,
Nothing
I remember
good is
that.
gonna-
He was like cursing and telling us to get the fuck off his property, like, that kind of thing. And we were like, I was not far removed from, I mean, I think I got born again that summer, maybe baptized at camp. So I was like, easy, dude.
I got a free pass from the Lord.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that language, brother. Yeah, I was up into the culture there, they were evangelicals. I mean, in fact, two of the
family.
two of the boys were preachers. So it was a preacher's family with other preachers coming up. I could have stick around. I could have got into it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You'd have been a good preacher, man.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
the
you would have been.
idea of fleecing people.
And he would have been at the top.
I know.
Absolutely.
I like, I like a lot about it.
And already sunk himself to the bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. I mean,
We'd be recommending the Netflix documentary
Yes.
about that fucking crazy Coquille preacher.
Yeah, eventually
Yes.
you gotta fuck a lot of the congregation. Otherwise, you definitely don't get on Netflix unless you do some pretty weird shit with your church.
There was a 1972 movie, a documentary called Marjo. This guy was he was named after Mary and Joseph, and he was a preacher as a kid. And this movie, I don't know if I've talked about it here before, but it's a documentary. I think it won the Academy Award for documentary that year. But this guy, I remember him. He was the one of the military guys in Earthquake, the movie. That movie where there's an earthquake and then they were taking over the town. Anyway, I found out this guy.
Sounds like a
My
Nicolas Cage
edible just
project.
kicked in right when Chaille said, that movie Earthquake, that movie where there was an earthquake. Yep. I'm pretty fucking high right now.
There's a huge earthquake, and this guy was
Right now?
one of the, what do they call him?
Oh, that earthquake? The one with the earthquake?
Yeah, the one about the earthquake.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I think Irwin Allen production when they were doing all those. But this guy, he was one of the bit actors in it, and he was in Marjo from '72, and he's basically just coming back from a tent meeting and just dumping just baskets of money and counting the money and laughing about taking the rubes. And he's doing this whole thing. And it's fucking amazing because he was a preacher since he was a kid. His family was into it, and that's how he got into it. And he made them so much money, and then he basically bailed on him because he wanted more for himself. And then he got into acting, and then he was in that movie Earthquake about.
So that's really him.
Yeah, it really is him. But the documentary is crazy because they wanted complete access, and he has no problem talking about ripping people off. Just taking money. And these are those tent ones where you just go and you just, it's basically just everyone just emptying their pockets into a, they're doing
tent revivals, man.
Merch table.
I went to a tent revival in it's probably early 2000s or maybe late 90s. When I just started comedy, I was on the road with this comic named Tim Slagle, who's very, very funny.
I've heard of Tim.
He's become a right winger now, but he's funny right winger, which is to me odd, or at least not Common, but he was really outspoken and always has been. So going to a tent revival with him was fucking great. We just sat in the back and giggled to ourselves and cracked jokes. It was like we were live tweeting it, before Twitter existed, and just to each other, like, yeah, we were basically the two old Muppet hecklers, just sitting there and watching. And then of course they tried to, they talked to us and tried to hook us in. It was incredible. The level that it goes to, like, to really see it in operation. Like, there were moments where they had music playing, and I actually now don't remember I don't think it was live music, but it was really repetitive, and you can see like the
that's where you're getting
sort of style that they were trying to induce. They want to just like get this brainwave pattern going in your head where
you spin that shit backwards and it tells you to donate. Donate. You've got more you can give. Come on. Yeah. You've got more.
Yeah.
You're not giving enough. God,
there's everything. I don't know if I mentioned this, but there was a when I was in DC recently, on the mall, we were cruising around going to the the history museum and stuff like that. There is a tent revival meeting set up there, and it's been there 6 years. And it's 24 hours. There's always something going on, and there's chairs and everything, and there's someone always on the mic, and there's music playing, and there's a couple people nodding off, in the back. But man, I just can't believe that's a thing, and then why they would do it. And I just looked it up. 6 years it's been there.
Yeah, that's essentially what Tim and I saw. It was like what we saw. I think we were in Cedar Lake, Iowa, of all places, where Buddy Holly died. But it was like that. It was very sleepy at times. It was like it, we were there like, on a comedy show. Like, we were there on a Tuesday night. You know what I mean? Like, they had the fucking B team on tonight, and they were getting through the show, but they were, they weren't.
She probably rakes in good dough, even when you
got to do the show every night. It's like any other form of performance. You got to do it. Even if you don't want to. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they probably have like 15 different sermons or whatever, and
yeah. You got the young guy who wants his shot at headlining. So all right, you can do Tuesday in Cedar Lake.
Yeah, it's so too bad it's dying. It's dying off. Well, I don't know. I mean, religion.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it feels like it's dying off in some ways. Like
they swing through Tucson, or they swing through Palominos, Chad.
Yeah,
They've got
but Chaille, it might be that you guys live out in the fucking desert, fucking no man's land where crazy people are.
Yeah, that's why you do it out there, because you fly under the radar. You don't want people attracting attention, but there's plenty of rubes that got a couple nickels to throw in the
yeah. Well, I guess it's not that religion's, but it's churches are having financial woes, which is kind of amazing since they don't pay taxes.
Yeah, like, that no taxing is really be depressing.
But yeah, there's a lot of empty churches these days, which is kind of cool. They're they're built funky and shit, make good space for other stuff. But
well, it's gotten a little bit harder to sell the bullshit story, right? We've all now seen. We have telescopes and
it's probably what
kind of see what's actually going on. We've blown a few holes in the story just in the last 50 years. It was an easier sell.
Yeah, there was locust, and then you assume something was going to happen, and then it happened, and it didn't end the world.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Stopped it for 2 years, but it didn't end it.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
That documentary that Erickson recommended, that what was that?
God forbid.
God forbid.
Yeah.
We watched that one, and it was interesting and like sleazy, like in an Inquirer kind of a way for a while, because I didn't really know anything about any of these people. So for a while, and I was telling Jenny, I go, well, this has got to get better. because right now they're just kind of like kink shaming these people. So
Yeah.
something's got to get better. And then it gets so much fucking better. It is the best comeuppance of
Yeah.
This is Jerry Falwell Jr., right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it's only, I don't remember how many, like 3 episodes or something.
Yeah, perfect.
It's where instead of being like, well, oh man, that was so, they stretched it out or whatever. There could have had more because there was background there that I didn't know about, and there could have been more.
There could be a
stuff.
second season of that one.
Yeah.
That's odd because they usually take these things and they produce an episodic like 6 parts, and you're like, they could have done this in 3. You're saying that they could have done even more, and it was that interesting.
He flew too close to the sun, man. He set up his scam. It was going too well. Like it's almost like the story of Trump as well. Like you wanted you got greedy. You got greedy.
They all do.
Like all you had to do was stay back in the pocket. You were running a multi-million-dollar scam and university in which you were the all-powerful, do anything you wanted guy, and you fucking blew it.
Think about his dad too. I mean, his dad didn't his dad get
face of it anymore. I mean,
wasn't his dad
he lost so much. He'll never have the life he had. He'll always look back on it. He'll always feel like he's punished because he'll never get back to the level he had. He was fucking riding high.
Oh, I have him confused with Swaggart. I was thinking of Jimmy Swaggart, the one who cried and said,
"If you haven't watched this one, dude, you'll fucking love it."
Yeah, no, I did. I watched.
I got really political and stuff, but it was like just the right amount because it made sense. It was really cool.
Falwell's been connected with the presidents since back his dad, way back. He was a political advisor for years to these presidents, and it's like, are you what?
Yeah,
why does this guy have anything to do?
He's the original piece of shit.
Kitchen cabinet type dude.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He was one of the, I was gonna say one of the first. This shit's been going on forever, I'm certain, but at least back in my lifetime, he was one of the first guys who made up a scary, cultural sort of monster out there that everyone should be worried about, and we better steer away from this. Like, and it was all bullshit, and worrying about all the shit that he said we needed to worry about has tangibly made the world a worse place. Like people like this are fucking garbage.
Yeah, just think if you went into like hallucinogenics, without any of that baggage.
That's what he needed. He needs a ketamine trip with Annie Letterman.
Well, from the beginning of this junior dude, was like, I'm different from, the father dude. That's not me. And he was clearly not the same dude. But then he quickly adopted the, fuck it. I'll take the, all the benefits. Fuck it. Well, and then he was finding people at the school, their white supremacist school, that, that would find the girls for getting fucking raped because they were drinking alcohol and then, sweep it under the rug. It was it was crazy.
I can't even believe that university still gets students.
Yeah, the whole thing's crazy.
There's plenty of idiots in the world. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They never stop making them.
They just had their football coach got a big job. Like he was at Liberty and won at Liberty, and now he's like Auburn hired him. But
you shouldn't even be able to get.
I know.
Like if God really, does watch the games like all these Christians think, then if you're the coach of Liberty, you should win every fucking game. If you lose a game, you should be fired because you're a terrible coach. You got God on your team, and you still lost to fucking St. Mary's. You're fucking out of here.
My biggest takeaway from that documentary was that pool boy kid was a fucking moron.
Yeah, he's real stupid.
Fucking, how do you just walk? You are not living the high life at all, at one point. You don't ever walk away from this with a fucking dollar in your pocket from one.
He got nothing. He
thing.
He managed to not get to somehow not even fall ass backwards into any of it.
The guys who scammed him made more.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly right. His
Yes.
friend from high school and that guy's dad actually fucking got a chunk, and it was that thread that led the one investigative journalist to the story that blew it all up.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Which was
intrigued,
crazy.
man. The pool
Yeah.
boy who eschews any kind of riches. That's interesting.
Oh, he was
He
fucking
just managed.
dumb.
No, like Chad, I think there's just like there's those people who just, for whatever reason, they're like born losers. You know what I mean? Like no matter how hard they try, and no matter how good their outcome should be, there's always something that happens that it ends up not working out. Like he could have made money in real estate 10 or 15 different times just being in Falwell's, arm's
Circle.
reach, literally. And he managed to not do it.
Yeah.
Like how the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in all the photos and shit. It's like, you're there, man.
Imagine
You're no
doing,
different than that.
imagine doing all of that, being in that, and then fucking having a shitty ass apartment, trying to
Yeah.
find a fucking shitty job. Going, hey,
Working
wait a
2
minute.
jobs.
Yeah.
Got to him working at Walgreens. Be well.
I'm
Hey,
glad.
You
Go
hear the
back to
door
the-
ding, ding.
Can't you go back to the cabana? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'd do. I'd go back to pool hustling again, find the next,
Yeah, that's a good resume topper, Falwell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will. We mentioned this last time. My favorite part of the documentary still is his descent into chronic alcoholism, where he was like actively
It's not
drunk.
not the
Paul
pool boy.
Jr. Yeah,
Falwell
and
Jr.
where when he starts slurring his words, that to me is just the most beautiful part, because I can tell you, I've been there for sure, where I thought I was a little more sober than I was, but I'm just hanging out with my friends being stupid. I'm not in front of 50,000 people in a mega
Stadium.
arena or on television or whatever. Like the fucking balls it would take to think you're getting away with that.
I got this. I got
And then to not even ever look at, clearly you don't look at any video of yourself, because if you watched yourself, you would be like, oh my God, I was fucking slurring. Like I got to tighten my shit up.
He
I got to hit a
sloshes his
fucking
tequila
rail.
over the fucking glass. Whoa, shit, oh,
Just the water.
oh,
Yeah,
oh.
exactly. Nobody said a fucking thing.
Emperor has no clothes. Who's gonna say anything? He's running the
That's
church.
it. I guess that's it. And I
Yeah.
guess if you have that
Good
kind
to
of
be
power,
king.
right. You're right. God
It
damn.
definitely makes being a cuckold. Is that how you say it? Makes a cuckold look like a fucking rich man. Cool. He's-
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
you just get to that point, it's just
They-
a lot easier if I just jack off while you
Yeah.
guys do it. Honestly.
I don't want to get sticky. Yeah, Chad's right though. They could have had they didn't really get too many real good stories in there. I mean, there's already good stories that just come about from what happened, but the real in-depth kind of stuff he didn't get at, which maybe next season. That's where
Well-
Pool Boy gets paid off, is he
Well,
does.
right away, I knew he was at a disadvantage, because the very first story he tells is, they took me over to the Days Inn, and I'm like, oh shit.
Nothing
now-
ever good happens with a story.
Now you gotta
Yeah.
go and fuck this chick at the Days Inn. But no, he doesn't fuck the chick. She tells him, we just were over at the swingers club last night. We're only gonna be able to do oral. Go ahead and go down on me. Whoa, hold on a
Wait.
minute. You're telling me I gotta go down on you when you just were at the swingers club last
Yeah.
night and they're at the Days Inn? This doesn't sound like a fucking great date, lady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass.
You're
Yeah, if he
eating
would have
day
been,
old jizz at that point.
Yeah.
The Days In.
Yeah.
if he would have passed, then he probably would have made money off of that couple.
Yeah.
But instead he ate the fucking soiled twat.
Yeah, if she says, hey, we were at the swingers club last night, I'm sorry, we can only do oral, that's fine. If that means
Yeah.
you're going down on me, not the
Uh-huh.
other way. No, that's
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like yeah, it's like somebody's gonna eat some
I'm
ass and
kind
like,
of
oh,
new
I
at
had some
this,
good
but I'm doing
Mexican
the
food.
math in my head.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's
Doesn't
not
seem
how.
like what you said.
That's
doesn't
not what I
jive with-
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
After you, the first thing you said, the second thing you said is not what I thought you were going to say.
Yes, I mean that's like almost the worst thing you can say before somebody would eat your snatch. You
Right.
had one.
But what's with all the honesty all of a sudden? Just shut your face.
Yeah.
Let me just go down there and
Oh,
think
yeah.
there's a murder scene down here, but I got to go through with it.
Right. Yeah. Don't tell somebody, you go, here, have a bite of this and tell me what you think. Don't say, does this taste funny to you?
Yeah.
And to say
I
that
think this
you
is
just-
bad. Take a
Yeah.
taste.
Yeah. Let him.
Hey,
go
I
down
want
there
to
and-
watch too.
It should be up to
Somebody
the-
else in here.
Yeah. It should be up to the pool boy to come up from down there and go, I don't want to be rude, but were you at a swingers club last night?
There sure are a lot of car parts down here. Were you at a demo derby?
There's like 3 different proteins down here. They all I watched that I forget the name of it, but the one that was, I think we talked about the show, but the girl who was abducted twice by the same guy, the neighbor guy, and he fucked the guy.
Friend of the family.
Yeah.
The mom, the dad. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a sordid shit, man. But the guy that was the guy who held the whole family hostage
Mhm.
with complete and fucking utter bullshit. Like,
Yeah, one of the original gaslighters before we
Yeah.
even had a term for that.
uh-huh.
They just
Yeah,
create this false
uh-huh.
narrative that make you think that
Fucking
something
alien.
entirely
Yeah.
different.
And like an alien came in and took her.
Yeah, he had
held her
the
hostage.
girl the most fucked up.
He was really dipping into that old sci-fi, It's like a Martian. You must Stan will be back.
Yeah.
And you must breed with Stan.
Yeah, she
The
figured it
robots
out
don't-
when he said that the alien said, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger." She said, "Wait a minute, is this an old episode
You
of
said
Lost
this
in
is friend
Space?"
of the family.
Yeah, well, that was, I think, the news show. There was a documentary about them,
Yeah.
before that a few
I-
years.
Yeah, the documentary didn't get into the details that the new thing did. And the new thing, I mean, it's like you let this guy come in and just sleep with your daughter, like right there is fucking
Yeah, does it
ridiculous.
sound familiar?
So
Andy?
anything that
Fucked
happened after that,
everybody, but he fucked everybody in the house
I know. Yeah.
separately, and then
Yeah.
played them all against each other. Made them all, first of all, think
Uh-huh.
that they were in love.
Mhm.
And that they were the only two that understood each other. And then also, after
Uh-huh.
it's done, then it's leverage in a blackmail scheme of sorts.
Mhm.
That he doesn't want money, he just wants, manipulated power.
At any
Yeah.
point, did they take him to church camp?
I think that's when he gave the old man the hand job.
Yeah, it could
Scouting
have
church
been.
camps. That was crazy. It's like, come on, man, I just need some help here. Jacked him off, and then he like held him ransom with the hand job his whole life. The guy went to his fucking grave regretting giving a hand job. I mean that and other shit, but I mean, he seemed to like that seemed to be the fucking moment that he kept replaying in his head. It's like,
Yeah.
just fucking, it's an old fashioned, man. Move on. It's not like he kissed his dick or nothing. He's just helping a friend, man.
Yeah.
It's like, heck, on. This thing's getting
Yeah, it's really, I mean, you might think that's problematic, but it's much more problematic that you've just allowed your daughter to be taken by this pedophile for
Right.
months at a time. You don't even look for her because you assume she's fine because he's got her. Like, what in the fuck?
pining away for him to come back and jerk you off. It ain't happening, man. You should have reciprocated within the same time frame or done it simultaneously. That's the only way you do those. You can't wait
Been
for
burned before, Andy.
Those the rules, Andy?
just saying,
It's
was
never
at a
happened,
swingers
but I've
party.
thought about it.
I was at a swingers party. Well, that's how I'd play it,
I love that they were at a swingers party the night before, and they still hadn't been satiated.
Gotta keep
They
going.
still
man.
needed to get the Best Western or wherever. What'd you say? The Days In. They still needed to get a little Days In action.
Yeah.
But they were a long con too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they saw a sucker, I think.
yeah.
Well, she was in love with him, really. I mean, that's as much of you know.
Well, that
I
was
mean,
when they first met him there at that nice.
But I mean, it's not like they were, you know. I mean, he was a sucker, yes, but it's not like they got any. Like they made their millions off of other people. It's not like they bled him dry for money or anything. They didn't need his money.
Right.
They just wanted to use him for what they were using him for.
Exactly.
And what she liked about him was that he was, you know, young and beautiful, and she was attracted to him, and she could fuck him.
Right.
And he was stupid.
And he was,
but they
like he seemed like
you know, him monetarily, which they would normally have to do
yes,
with any other person in that situation.
Yes,
that had half a fucking brain.
Which proves that, which I guess proves you're right. She didn't love him, because if she would have loved him, she would have made sure he had some money.
Yes.
You know? Turns out they're both bad people.
They're fucking assholes.
Yeah.
It was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it was
entertaining.
I think she had,
I learned some stuff that I didn't know about.
What did you learn, Chad?
About like the evangelists
kind of gave up on that word, huh? Started and he just kind of that's enough.
I knew you guys would know what it was.
See the edible kick in at different times to different people.
You know, I knew you guys would know what it was. About how Falwell organized them. Falwell Senior organized them as a political
it's a fucking powerful bunch of votes to say I can
the moral majority.
Yeah, the moral majority. Yes, you know, and
you know, it was one of like, you know, putting patriot in your name, like you're saying you're moral in the name of your fucking group, like. Those are the ones you always got to watch out for. You
just
know?
Weaponizing Christianity as a political force. It was just like, God, you know, I knew that was the thing, but just to see that.
Yeah, once they started weaponizing the fucking evangelicals, that's when, you know. Anyway, fuck those people.
But to see,
I want my money back.
To see just at least that little shitty fucking bit of an arm get a comeuppance was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice
to watch.
Yeah. They finally, you know, there's some justice in the story.
I think that's the only reason I watch those is that there is some kind of resolve. Like I'll listen to a podcast that they'll do that, and then at the end there's no resolve. It's like, you motherfucker. I just listen to an hour of this or multiple episodes, and then there's no resolve at the end. It's like, well, we don't know what's going to happen. The trial's coming up. You shouldn't have put this out yet.
Right. Yeah. You got to see the verdict, or if you're like 8 episodes, there's got to be a trial and then the verdict.
The world may never know.
What was that one preacher, Hazard? Or whatever, it was the anti-gay preacher.
Ted Hazard.
That's a nice story, because it's like, you know, he's probably back to shuckstering by now, but he was at the top and then got busted or whatever happened.
I think his name was Ted Hazard. He was a meth smoking. Wasn't he smoking meth with a couple of
prostitute
guys
that was a fella?
Yeah.
In terms
of
I
mean, he was having a great time.
Yeah. Well, here's what happens.
Is Mark Hazard?
No.
Ted. He was pretty well known a few years ago.
He was
he's out of Colorado Springs.
Real outspoken about anti-gay, and then he got caught. Yeah, I remember that.
Do you see the guy who the Don't Say Gay, or wrote the Don't Say Gay legislation in Florida, is going to prison for like 30 years for other shit?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Ted
he'll be
Haggard.
Ted Haggard. Yeah.
Not Hazard. Haggard.
Haggard. Yeah, he was. That was one of my favorite preacher, stories, because he just had such a epic fall from grace. Like, wait, man, you were preaching again. You're doing with meth. That makes the sex. Well, I mean, look at you, fella. You know, you shouldn't be railing against gay. It's like that face, that face.
Railing.
They're always the last ones to
I know,
right?
Yeah,
You know?
it's like, yeah, how can you not see it? Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
that's part of what makes religion so insidious, right? That it teaches people to demonize, or like people who might be homosexual are so afraid of it because it thinks that it makes them a sinner or makes them a bad person, that they overcompensate in such a way that they become an outspoken critic of it, so as to make sure they never get caught, even if they do all that stuff subconsciously. So, you know, it's like, this is it's part of the reason why it's such a terrible.
Or it's an obvious cover for people who are complete sociopaths.
Right. Yeah.
Who do it fucking, completely consciously.
And well, that's true. That's true. Absolutely.
He's doing Netflix series. I don't think we, I think his scandal was before they were doing a whole bunch of those. So it's like, he'll come back around.
Yeah, I'd watch the Haggard.
It's funny to see hacky premises of Jeffrey Dahmer come back around. It's like you think you're the first, okay, it's because he came back in the news, and then there's a new generation of people going, this guy is like he literally ate a bag of dicks. I heard on the.
Well, it's fun to see people who don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is find out for the first time.
Yeah.
Like those two black kids that listen to that Phil Collins song. You get to watch them hear the fucking drum solo part come in,
Yeah, to be unspoiled by Phil Collins all those years.
To tell them about all the things Jeff did.
The legend of Dahmer. Yeah. I mean, man, I bet his old man's still around, but I wonder if he, has a chance to kind of step back and go, wow, man, this thing's turned into quite a business. I might have been a shitty parent, but
the Haggard thing, I just perused it really quick because I was curious. This all happened in 2006 and the church and all that stuff. But as of late, I want to see what's happening right now. April 1st, interesting, 2022, he sold his warehouse housing the St. James Church for almost $2 million.
Nice.
Sale came after new allegations surfaced about his alleged inappropriate relationship with boys in the church and more alleged drug use.
Dang it, man! I kept, I keep praying.
The past be the past.
Just can't stay away from them boys, huh?
Boys and drugs.
Yeah, it'll ruin any good church. You get them boys. Yeah. Preachers can only take so much.
That's how you know you got a good church, if you got them demons hanging around it, tempting you.
Right, because that's where, because the devil don't waste time on the ones that, he ain't worried about. That's why the devil works extra hard on those. That's what that's a great that's a brilliant opt-out of any,
I'm gonna contact him as a real estate agent to try to sell his church with that angle.
Yeah, of course they came at me because, God knows I'm his best warrior, and Satan's been fucking firing these meth balls at me.
This church
One of them hit me in the face.
Is full of demons.
Yeah. I opened my door and Satan was out there, and he said, "Do you want to do some meth?" I said, "Get out of here, Satan!" And the next thing I know, he's sucking my dick, and it's not Satan at all. Pray for me, man. Oh man, you just got a blowjob, Andy.
Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of them, but Falwell or Swagger was, "Pray for me. I've fallen and I've sinned." It's like, man, what great turnaround!
Isn't he the guy now that's just selling like 50-pound buckets of?
That's Jim Baker.
That's Jim Baker.
He's
Swagger's
buckets
dead.
of food.
Yeah, you buy 9 years worth of fucking rice at a time, and
With
then we have,
Chaille.
and then he does this for years, and we go into an actual pandemic, a worldwide lockdown.
Yeah,
and none of these people utilized any of their stored goods to lock themselves down and save themselves. They literally set themselves up for this exact scenario. And then when it happened, they're the ones who didn't believe the lying CDC, and they had to be allowed to come out of their house.
They were prepared for it and then refused to use it.
They refused to do it.
And it's like, it's so funny because that they actually had a chance to test it, and they probably go, this is fucking garbage. I'm going to Burger King.
Yeah.
They had a commercial where they told you something. They go, if you put a piece of plywood on top of the bucket and then you put a tablecloth over it, you can have a nice side table for your living
my
room.
God. Yeah. You can eat off the bucket, your food, your gruel came in.
Well, it's a way to actually integrate it into your daily life without it looking, conspicuous. And then you've got your bucket of gruel right there.
He must
He
be
started like an outdoor patio kind of restaurant, like you could just get every bucket of gruel is just a new foretop you set up.
And he ripped off a lot of people, so he probably had to do something where he could, huckster, but he can't get, he can't travel around.
He has to have some kind of a product.
Yeah,
he can't sell miracle water.
He paid a lot of people for money for, wasn't he the guy who was building a theme park? Jim and Tammy.
Yeah.
They had a theme park for a while.
Yeah. It's just not enough good family theme parks for.
But he got also, him and Tammy divorced, and then he got a new Tammy that was even Tammier than Tammy.
Really? Wow.
Right? Did I make that up in my head?
I don't.
He got another a crazy looking lady, but I don't know if it's the one he's with now. I think he was just trying to recreate that
third or fourth
magic
Tammy.
of that
Yeah.
first
Wasn't their show? There's a couple of preacher shows like this, but the stage is just chaos. It's like 15 people up there. Those are great, where they're like all just freeze frame and look at each huckster. It's like the fucking makeup and the suits and everything that goes into that whole thing, man. It's
like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last jam. It's like all the preachers are up there at once, and they each take a
Uncle
turn.
Baby Billy's all across. Yeah, I can't wait for that show to come back. The Gemstones,
Mighty Gemstones.
Yeah, I think Uncle Baby Billy is one of the greatest characters. At first, when that show was on, I was thinking it seemed like it was over the top, but and even with all the guns and stuff that were on it last year, it still doesn't seem as over the top as how religion is right now.
Are you talking about a show called The Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, The Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah. I've never heard of that.
Really? Oh man, it's a good one.
Great. It's an HBO thing with John Goodman and Adam Devine from Workaholics, and what's his face?
Oh man, Devine is great in it.
The guy, what's his name from East?
Oh, is that the guy who played? Who was the baseball player?
Yes,
I've tried to watch it a couple of times, and I've liked it a lot both times, and for some reason I just have not kept watching it. I don't know why.
Walt Goggins, his little
I like
baby. What's his name? And he's the best.
Yeah, Uncle Baby Billy.
Uncle Baby Billy.
Uncle Baby Billy.
Who is part of a brother and sister singing team as little kids singing at revivals and shit, and was the matriarch.
That's Marjo, man. That's his story.
Yeah. It's probably taken about 5
or
but man, just the idea, the money, those
Danny McBride.
Yeah,
Danny McBride.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Andy.
No, that's all right.
There's probably every single person watching this has been screaming Danny McBride
dummy,
the whole time, and I apologize for getting us all stuck on that.
You just can't grab those things like he used to.
I can't, dude. It's falling apart.
That's why improv groups break up generally.
You'll never see anyone over 50 doing improv because they're like, they're
on stage just going, hold on a second, hold on.
Please welcome the Why Did We Come Into This Room troupe. I'm looking for an object.
Welcome the already past their prime players.
I came in here and I was looking for an object. I can't remember what it was.
Why did I come in here? Yeah. Somebody give me a job.
Why am I on stage?
Oh, give me a minute.
There's a guy who's performing. I don't think I'll go to it, but he's his credit was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he's the bubble man.
Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah, have you seen the Bubble Man? But he's around, and I'm like, wow, I saw a clip, and that's like, in 1985, and he kind of has the same hair and the same look to him as he did in 1985. But he does all kinds.
He's in Oregon around you because
he's going to be
man. Don't you still have the Mustard Man? He was his.
No, but Bubble Man is an international. He would have been like, America's Got Talent situation.
Erickson, read a book. You don't know about the Bubble Man?
He does amazing bubble tricks, but I don't know that it would be big enough for.
He was probably on Real People.
He blows smoke inside a bubble.
Look at that haircut.
Right. Yeah, so he'll be around, but
that looks like my hair when I grew it out during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, you can't tell with the bubble in front of his head, but it was funny to see. It's like I did the deep dive on him, and I saw a clip of him in '85, and then I saw what he looked like. It's a bummer. It's a bummer that time passes like that. And maybe I don't know. Maybe being a bubble man.
If time can do this kind of damage to the Bubble Man, what chance do I have?
Yeah. It's a long.
Our first guest
Johnny
tonight
let
is a
people
young man
run,
from New Jersey who lives in
run
Santa
with it
Cruz,
back
California now. He has an act unlike anything we've ever seen, and he calls it simply Bubble Magic. Would you welcome Tom Noddy?
Kind of Gallagher-esque.
Hang on to your hats, guys.
Here we go. Oh, he's
Real
got a Doug
low-key
Henning look. He's smoking.
Oh, back when he could
Johnny
smoke
said what
on
I do is
stage.
called bubble magic. I'll tell you what I do. I do bubbles inside of bubbles, smoke bubbles, clear bubbles inside of smoke bubbles inside of clear bubbles, inside out bubbles, yin-yang bubbles, caterpillar bubbles, love bubbles, and a bubble cube. And the yin-yang
Cocaine's
bubble
a hell
is
of
a
a
double
drug.
bubble, a smoke bubble, and a clear bubble with a clear
And
bubble,
it's
and a
still
smoke bubble, and a smoke bubble,
30
and a clear
years
bubble.
later,
It's my most
it's
typical
still
trick
opening.
to say.
But it's
My
true.
most difficult trick to say.
This one's a nuclear bubble. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe. No accident. It's okay, it was human error.
See, little
3 Mile
Gallagher.
Island joke.
Don't worry, we have backup
Uh-huh.
systems. Back up, everybody, back up. That's all they figured out so far, I'll show you the caterpillar bubble.
We could get him to Panama, probably.
How fucking high was this guy when he came up with this act?
I know, huh?
Jesus Christ.
That you could do that shit.
Smoking cigarettes and
10
blowing
packs a
bubbles
day.
all high all day. He died of lung cancer.
No, he probably has an assistant do the smoke.
Oh, Doc Severin's.
They had those cigarettes packed with weed.
All right. Well,
I'm
that's how-
very surprised that we didn't open for him on a David Tribble gig and
Yeah.
Red Lion and Wenatchee.
Well, I don't know, Bubble Man. I think he, I don't know that he went the comedy route, but he sort of.
He was trying.
It'd be interesting. It feels like going to see him would be like going to see Roy Munson bowling. Isn't that his name? Roy Munson from Kingpin.
Kingpin.
It's like, you were on the Tonight Show in 1980. I saw you, man. And it's like, yeah, okay, I don't want to be bothered, man. Like,
I don't do
Get good
bubbles
powder.
anymore.
I bet he's still a pretty happy pot smoking hippie. He's
Yeah.
playing the Wow Hall, so he's got to be, still
what?
the Wow Hall. It's called WOW Hall.
That's a venue.
Yeah, it's a venue. It's music generally.
Does it seat over 80?
It's about 100.
The Wow Hall.
That's.
That's.
I saw one. I saw
Fill this.
I saw 1/3 of Nirvana there, and it was the shittiest third. It
Oh,
was
you
the
saw Dave.
You saw the
Curse.
Chris Novoselic.
Chris
Novoselic, and he was doing a read.
76 or whatever his band
Yeah,
was.
he got political, and he was doing a reading. He wasn't even playing music.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a living version of Chad's complaint.
Yeah.
Like, but instead of being funny, it's, play a song. Like if you're a musician, you can be political, but you still have to be musical. You have to still...
I forget, he had like a book out or something, but I could barely, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be Nirvana, but
his biggest talent was being Kurt Cobain's best friend.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he was cool when Nirvana was going, and after Nirvana was over, it was like
there wasn't much there.
There's a reason he's probably not caught on and been in,
He did take a pretty nasty blow to the head though on
he?
Oh yeah.
MTV Live.
Really?
Yeah.
On the unplugged thing?
Yeah, he threw his fucking bass guitar up in the air then forgot he threw it up in the air, and it came down and fucking hit him directly on the head.
That was a vintage,
knocked him out fucking cold.
That was a vintage Ampeg scroll head, had a violin head for the headstock where you tune it. And he was like, "You fucking throwing that thing, dude?" I mean, that's a heavy bass to begin with, but throwing that thing is.
Can you find that clip? Can you find that clip?
I probably.
I didn't know that. Did he go down or?
Oh, it fucking hit him.
Hit him in the head, and
I think he stumbled after it hit him, but you can tell like the sound it made. What is a giveaway or now?
It's a grunge. That's
how unintentional it was. Like it was a real moment. Like,
nice.
Yeah, poor Chris.
Well, I'm glad he hit himself in the head after having to hear his book reading. I didn't have to hear it. But I just thought, man, it's just there's no Nirvana coolness to any of this situation.
Hold on here. Let me see how long this one is. Oh yeah, this is only a minute long, so this is gonna be
it's obviously it's the very end.
Yeah, but I want to make sure it's not the whole video. Okay. Share.
I started playing the song, and all of a sudden the amp was just so overdriven, it started cutting out, and it just died. And so instead of standing there going, duh, I thought I'd do the sensational bass toss. I've got some pretty good air before, so I threw it up there, and I had some beers and stuff, and made us a little nervous, and I caught it wrong, and it just popped me on the head, and it just kind of fell down, and I just ran off stage. And Kurt didn't even know what happened, and I'm like walking off stage. He sees me, and he kicks me in the ass as I walk off stage, of all things. And then he didn't know what happened. After he told me, he goes, "I'm sorry I did that. I didn't know what happened."
I love that his solution for an amp that's not working is to throw the guitar.
Yeah.
Seems like, hold on. Seems like you don't know how a guitar works.
Well, maybe it's like Andy trying to fix his microphone.
Oh, that's true.
You go with what you know.
Chris Novoselic is the Andy of that group.
Issues with Chris.
So hey, let's do our recommendations. I think we got a couple good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've been busy out here in Minnesota. I'll be home next week, but I've been watching a thing called Afterlife. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I rewatched it because my mom's never seen it, and it's Ricky Gervais, and it's about 3 seasons, I think.
Wait. Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
Chaille.
What?
It's Ricky Gervais.
All right, whatever.
Not whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you always I don't know. I think that's funny.
All right.
I don't know how to say it.
So yeah, it's about it's basically his politics. It's just like how bullshit religion is, and people in their dying, and there's a lot of suicide talk and stuff like that. But it is interesting, and it's worth watching. It gets
Where do you
it's
find
not
it?
like a regular, it's not a sitcom, but it is funny.
I enjoy it, Chaille. I've made it to season 1, and I have not started season 2 because I have to be in a special mood where I want to laugh but also cry, and it's odd mood to be in.
It's good. And season two, you think it's gonna be all happy, and then no, it goes right back down into the dark.
Oh man.
Right.
Almost immediately.
Well, he plays a character whose wife has died, right? I remember season
Died
1.
of cancer, and he keeps watching videos.
And he's an atheist, so he's, confronted with dealing with people and depression and their thoughts on, where she is, if she's anywhere, and all of that. The way he tackles it is pretty fucking brilliant. Ricky Gervais is great in it.
Ricky Gervais, dude.
Ricky Gervais.
How come there's no Z in his name if it's for Gervais?
Oh my god.
All right, that's mine.
I think that's a good one, Chaille. Mine is on HBO. It's a 3-part documentary, Low Country, the Murdaugh Dynasty.
Yeah.
And,
what?
It's
What?
You clicked on something that said country music?
No, it's not. It's Low Country refers to South Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting. It starts off. You probably heard of it on the news. It's like it starts off with like a boat accident with these young kids, but like the kid's gonna get away with it because his whole family is connected politically for years and years and years back. But it kind of sets off a domino effect where it uncovers a whole bunch of crazy shit.
It's insane. The story's insane. And if you, Mitchell and I dove deep on it in the car on the way back from Florida last year when the story was still in its midway through. And there's a podcast called the Murdaugh Murder Podcast. And it's the woman who does the podcast is the reporter who broke the story. She's the one who put it all together.
Okay.
But the story is incredible. It involves the son who drunkenly killed a girl in the family speedboat when he hit a bridge in the dark going 60 miles an hour. And it involves then the murder of that son and his mom. And then it also involves the death of the housekeeper that they had, who was supposedly originally knocked down the front steps by the family dog. And there's just, it gets crazier and crazier.
So you're saying there's a dog in this movie?
There is a dog in this story.
Oh, I'm in.
Why isn't it
Although, spoiler alert,
called Low Country Dog?
He might not have actually been knocked over by the dog, so maybe there isn't a dog in the story. I don't want to get too far.
Schrodinger's dog.
Highbrow, nice. Right, that's one to look at.
All right, I just it's one episode in, but I like the George and Tammy. Is it called?
Yep.
Yeah, great cast, and I love George Jones' stories, so it's gonna be good.
I was gonna be my thought that I was gonna say I haven't seen any of this yet, but I'm excited to watch George. And
yeah,
Tammy.
first episode's a good for sure.
George Jones is played by Michael Shannon.
Yeah,
who has the face for it, and he's great. So.
And George Jones was a lovable fucking sad ass drunk.
There's a good interview on NPR with him and Jessica Chastain about it, and Michael Shannon says it pretty well because he's talking about how there's this fascination with people like George Jones who can be such a fucking train wreck and still somehow come out and do the show and do the performance. And when they do it, you're just blown away by how the fuck did you do it?
Yeah,
I love this actor. This guy's
Michael Shannon. That's what I'm talking about.
So good.
Yeah, in the first one, they he's passed out in the dressing room for a performance, and they bring him up and tape his legs up so he can stand.
So his knees don't bend.
They put braces. Yeah, they put something so he can't fall down.
Chaille,
give me
write
that
that down.
movie
You're gonna need to do that for Stanhope someday for sure. That'll be that'll come in handy. Doug will
His
be like,
elbows and
Chaille,
knees no longer bend.
Yeah.
Chaille, how did you think of that? Yeah.
Well, that's
So
a
is
good
that on like, is the whole
It's
thing
on-
out, Andy, or is it?
No, it's
not
just the
one-
first one, and I think it's on a couple of. I know Showtime has it, and it's also on something else is streaming it too. So
I would do
Paramount.
a week free trial of Showtime for, you
Yeah,
know,
to watch
whatever it is.
Yeah,
to
it's
watch
just
it.
one. I think Showtime's one of them that puts them out
Showtime
episodes
has
per
it.
week.
I'm looking to see if it's somewhere else.
Yeah,
Um,
but I imagine it's. I mean that's such a rich storyline. It's going to be great. However many episodes they do.
Have you been watching the White Lotus too?
Yeah, I'm enjoying that, especially now that it's on. It's almost over.
There's one more.
Yeah, there's one more, and at least 2 or 3 people
It
die.
got really, it started out as a real slow burn, and I think it's gotten really interesting in the last couple episodes.
Yeah,
So
I
trying
think
to see what they do with where they're at in the story right now with one more episode. It's gonna
it
be
feels like
really
the first
good.
one was just so funny with the
Mhm.
but this one isn't. It's not maybe meant to be. It's a dark comedy, but not supposed to be funny.
Well,
like
the
it
first
was.
one, I mean, we've talked about this, right? The first one was brilliant because of the way it incorporated the story of Murray Bartlett,
Mhm.
the guy who ran the hotel,
Yeah.
and so his
And that was the comedy
glorious
through
burnout,
it.
right? That's where the comedy all was, and some of the stuff with the staff, and maybe the last episode will spin it some more in a different direction, but the staff isn't as big a part of it. Some
Yeah.
of that seems kind of forced, honestly, and
Yeah.
it's more about just the people staying there, and
Mhm. I feel I'm really looking forward to the last one though, because it's going to have a lot in it.
they really
Some
did.
shit's going to go bad.
Yeah, yeah. They got a lot of fucking balls in the air right now, So I
The last episode, what's the name? Jennifer, the lady that's in both
Jennifer
seasons.
Coolidge.
Goes, oh, I don't really do cocaine, and then dives in and does a bunch of cocaine. So that's
Yeah.
a lot of
You,
fun.
did that remind you of something, Andy?
I never said I haven't done it. I've never thrown in the towel.
That wasn't the part I was thinking of. Last week's episode, I did the White Lotus and beginning. I took our thing at the end.
Yeah.
Say for Patreon, and I put that in the beginning, and no one said anything in the comments of like, "What the fuck?" So either I did it right, or no one even paid attention.
No,
Probably some of both.
I think you did it right.
I'm sure you did it right. Yeah, it's good. All right, let's get out of here. My thing is, you have to, for this to do you any good, you need to be watching this on Friday. So hope you're watching this on Friday, because on Saturday there will be an epic World Cup quarterfinal between England and France. It's gonna be a
Someone's
bloodbath.
going home.
Yeah. Well, England have been the consummate best team in the world to not win a World Cup since the last one they won in 1960. So every time England loses in the World Cup, it's even funnier than the last time they lost in the World Cup. So for them to lose again is going to be great. I'm sorry about that.
The difference this year, or this World Cup, is that's mine and Tracy's team in the pool, which means they're gonna win.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
the French.
Fuck, I got fucked on that.
I'm all in.
Start. But that's going to be a good match. So, and if you watch this early enough, you might still have time to watch Brazil. I don't know what time the Brazil game is, but they're on Friday.
It's 9 o'clock my time here, Central. That's 9 o'clock your time, right? Or no, it's 9 or 1.
It's 9 and 1 in Central time. Let me just
Central,
look at the schedule for Friday.
Get the FIFA app, man. Get involved.
Oh,
FIFA app.
Yeah.
Croatia and Brazil is the early game. Then the Netherlands against Lionel Messi and Argentina in the afternoon game. Some good soccer coming up, guys. It's a beautiful game. Enjoy it. And we hope that you enjoy it as much as we enjoy having you guys here to watch us do this stupid stuff that we do every week. Thank you for doing it. Join our Patreon if you would like. We've got some fun stuff coming up soon in Patreon. I don't even know if Chaille and Chad know about it yet, but Andy and I have already talked about it. So they'll be as surprised as you guys.
I hope
but
Chad and I are invited.
you're going to be doing most of the work. Of course, you're invited, Chaille. We're counting on you to do everything.
Maybe my email invite went to spam. I'll have to check.
Yeah, check it out.
But if you join the Patreon, there's so much good stuff over there. You get all of this and more, and it's just $5 a month at patreon.com/issueswithandy. We love you guys. We'll see you right back here next week. Peace.